Here is a walk around and tour of my 1986 Mazda RX-7 GXL. This is a 2-seat, 5-speed manual coupe with 37,000 original miles. It's finished in sapphire blue with a light gray cloth interior. I purchased this car from the original owner last summer. He had owned the car since 1986, and he was ready to part ways with it. He was getting up there in age, he's retired, and he was ready to let it go to someone else. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this car, but I just purchased another one, and I don't have the space to keep this one anymore, unfortunately. As far as things that I've done to it, it has a complete PDR, paintless dent repair. The car had a fair share of dents on it. Those have all been removed, so the car is nice and straight. Another thing that I had done to this car are these later model Bbs Rz Wheels, which are a factory option on the later RX-7s for the FC generation. The GXL came standard with 5-lug, unlike the base model of 1986, so this was a straight swap. You can take the later wheels and swap them on. They're also wearing these brand new Toyota R888 tires that have less than 1,000 miles on them and are still extremely sticky. Let's move on to the inside. As you can see, that light gray cloth interior. You could option these cars with a rear bench seat. This car was optioned as a true 2-seat sports car. So, in place of that bench, let me move the seat forward. In place of the bench, instead you received these storage cubbies, which in here is the original toolkit. And these are also lockable with the factory key for the car. Move the seat back forward. All right. So you can see the cloth interior is in great shape. The headliner is also extremely beautiful. Let me go ahead and open up that hatch. So down here is your controls for the gas door and the rear hatch. Open that up. Back here is the original set of floor mats. It's this shag carpet that matches the carpet up front. Move those out real quick. You can see that you have some luggage straps and very clean back here. I also wanted to show this novel factory rear dome light for when you're trying to load luggage in at night. That still works. This is how they came, attached to the actual hatch strut on the back of this RX-7. This car was sold new at Schaefer and Strohmeyer, which is a dealership that does not exist here in Maryland anymore. It was a demo car that was ordered by the dealership with pretty much every option for '86. And it was basically bought with a few thousand miles because the salesman and obviously customers got to put mileage on it as a demonstration of what the new product offered. One thing I want to point out here, you can see that this Mazda sticker was torn right here on the back, and the previous owner had repaired this with these little thin strips of metallic sticker. Something extremely minor. You don't notice it from here, but when you get up close, you can see it. Just wanted to point that out. There's also a light scratch back here, but otherwise the back is pretty much imperfection free. There's also one spot right here in the paint. I believe it's from probably either tree sap or bird poop. That will not come out. I've tried to buff that out. It just is there. It's not something that I'm extremely pressed about. As you can see, it's very small, but also something I wanted to point out. Let's move on to the interior. As you can see here in the cluster, 37,109 miles on this 1986 Mazda RX-7. All the controls here in the console This is your auto adjusting suspension with a normal and a sport mode. 5-speed manual. Has this very interesting leather shift boot that I didn't think was factory, but after some research, this is how they came, with this little tassel thing, I guess, to tighten it and pull it off easily. Here's your factory radio with the equalizer, climate controls, glove box with the original owner's manual, center console. Here's your dome light, reading lights. Let's go ahead and start it up. You can see this control panel in the middle just gives you all of your warning lights. Your cluster is very analog, but in the center you have all of your warnings front and center, with the park and brake being on and the hatch obviously still open. All of the lights work. Let me go ahead and turn the AC on, which blows super cold. It's one thing I absolutely love about this car is the climate control works wonderfully. And a part of the reason it works so well is this stationary vent that is actually mounted in the door card. This doesn't seem like a super big deal until you open the door and you realize that it's actually channeled under the dash. And when it's closed, it gives you this really nice unbroken line from the dash to the door card. Let me go ahead and open up the sunroof. This is the tilt function. And if you hold this button, this back button right here, it will go all the way back. To release the hood, there's a hood release on the left side. Also, I forgot to mention that there is the stationary climate control vents both under the steering column and underneath the glove box. That also makes this climate control really good for a car from the 1980s. Let's see what's under the hood. Here is the 1.3 liter Mazda 13B rotary, naturally aspirated. This engine has never been out of this car. Like I said, with 37,000 miles, it is incredibly strong. Another thing I forgot to mention, this car never was really driven in the winter, and this is something that was installed by the previous owner. It's a quick disconnect for the battery. That way it wouldn't die when he left it in storage over winter. The other thing I wanted to show before I turn on all the lights and show how the pop-ups work, the gaskets on this car all the way around both doors are in fantastic condition. All of the rubber on this car look exceptionally well. To go ahead and show off how the pop-ups work, there's this switch on this side and they go right up. I'll give you a walk around with the lights on, and then we'll take this for a quick drive.